Alright guys, so this video is just going to be showing you pretty much my entire knife collection. This is my second time doing this video. The first time this was almost 20 minutes long, so I want to try and cut it down a little bit, go through everything just a little bit faster. So I'm just going to jump right into it here. This is the inside of my knife case, just this big aluminum case. Got some foam shelves in here, foam padding all inside. It's got a nice eggshell foam, or eggshell, wow, egg carton foam lid, whatever. I know it looks blurry, but as I show each knife, I'll pick it up and move it here where it's in focus, just so you can see it a little bit closer. But you know, as you can see in the background, Knife Rights decal there. If you're not a member, join. If you're into knives, you should be a member. I'll leave it at that. Go to kniferights.org, read up on their mission statement, what they're all about, and join up. But anyway, we're going to start at the top right here and just work our way down. So first off, we have this Cold Steel Recon 1. This started off as an all-black Recon 1 Tanto. I actually traded off my polished Hisatsu folder for this knife. I traded with Glockman over on the forums. He did the modifications to this, and it just looks awesome. You can see it's got that sort of modified Spanto blade to it now. Ground off that secondary point. It's not that scratched normally. I just have really intense lights on this right now, so you can see if you tilt it a little bit, that's a more normal level of light, and it just looks awesome. He also did the lock bar on it to match. I added that little toxic green lanyard. Still waiting on the right-handed clip from Cold Steel for this, so haven't really carried it much. Next up is my Ontario Rat 1. This knife I modified a bit, did some file work. I mean, not really file work, more like sculpting on the FRN. Added this very thin toxic green G10 liner on one side. Haven't done the other side yet. Polished the clip, and then a buddy of mine did this sort of quasi stonewash finish. It's not actually stonewashed, but he chipped off the black finish, and it gives it this really nice, dark, finely scratched look to it. Looks like a dark stonewash. Really cool looking. Next we have a bird catbird. This is an alright knife. This one's for sale on the forums right now. But it's a good beginner knife. Really heavy weight to it. Really solid. It's a nice, decent knife. I'm trying to get rid of it, but for a beginner, it's pretty good. Next up is probably the most rare knife in my collection. This is a ProTech Runt 2. However, there are only 30 of these in existence. Reason being, this one has a finish you might not see, or may not have seen. This is an Emerald Jazz finish. This was done by a different anodizing company. Was not done in-house by ProTech. They sent these out to be done. This one is part of the first production run. This one's number 486 of the whole first production run, but 30 out of that run were done with this finish, and this is one of them. I actually have not seen another one like this yet anywhere, in person or online. I've just seen the one I own and some really old dealer pages, I guess, when they were new. These are back from 2007, I believe, is when they did these, but this thing fires really hard. Really cool little auto. I store it open just to keep the spring, in good condition. It's not really necessary, but you know what? It sort of makes sense to keep it in the relaxed position to me, so that's how I do it. Next, Cold Steel Scimitar. This is a really cool knife. Picked this up, in a great deal at a gun and knife show a few months ago. I think I did a review of this, just haven't posted it yet. But I'll have to check on my computer. But it's a really cool wicked knife. Haven't really carried it too much just because it's pretty menacing looking, especially with those full serrations. But definitely a self-defense knife, possibly offensive knife if you're military or law enforcement. But really cool knife. You guys have seen this one before. This is my customized Kershaw Needs Work. This was in my last video. Made the scales on this. I think it turned out really nice. just a cool looking knife, and it feels even better in the hand now. You know, other than the scales, it's pretty basic, and modified the pivot a bit, but that's it. Now, these three here I'll cover pretty quickly. Got a Kershaw Mini Mojo with a polished blade. Since I didn't really like the bead blast, shows even more scratches than this does. And since I use this, just decided to polish it off. We've got a small Buck Vantage Select. The Select Vantages are a great series of knives. Very high value in my opinion. You know, you've got the plastic handles, or FRN. I believe it's a 420 series stainless steel. But Buck's heat treat is very nice, and these knives take a wicked edge. It's also got a nice deep carry pocket clip that's reversible for right hand or left hand tip up carry. Next up is a knife you've all probably seen before. You've got a Kershaw Skyline. Mine also has the polished blade, the sculpted G10 that I did. You saw that in my review. And then I also made this lowrider clip for it. It sticks out a little bit more than I'd like. I'll probably fix it, but it's got this cool heat treated look to it, and it carries much nicer this way. Another really great value knife. So that's about it for the top row. Now we're going to move on down to my, I guess, better knives. So over on the left here we've got a CRKT Ripple. This one is the black handle version. This is the larger one. Very smooth, very quiet knife. I mean, you can barely hear it flick open. This one's been used, and it's actually missing a couple ball bearings because I took it apart, and they're extremely tiny, but still flips open very nicely. This Aikido Plus steel is pretty decent, actually. And for CRKT, it's actually a pretty nice knife. In my opinion, this is the best knife that they put out right now. Although I haven't tried out any of their really new stuff, so... I mean, I'm not a really big CRKT fan in general, to be honest, but this is a nice knife. Then we have my Chris Reeve small Insingo Sebenza. This has been on my channel before too. Really nice knife. This one's going to go back to Chris Reeve pretty soon though to be refurbished. As you can see, it's got some nice scratches on the handle just from being carried a lot. I use this knife a lot, but it's an awesome size. I love this knife. I mean, you guys have probably heard all about the Sebenzas before. They've been covered thousands and thousands of times in forum posts and YouTube videos, so it's pretty much old news by now, but they're totally worth it in my opinion. Then we've got my Crawford Custom CCK. This is made by Pat Crawford. It's a credit card karambit, that's what he calls it. Bought this at the New York Custom Knife Show. I believe I've showed this before, but this is a really, really nasty little self-defense knife. It's full titanium. It's very, very thin, as you can see. And it actually does fit into a credit card slot in your wallet. But it's razor sharp. It's got a really nice, nasty point to it. You can hold it, you know, like this in both rings, or you can hold it, you know, like this. This is actually how Pat Crawford showed me how he likes to use it, and it's a really nasty way to hold it because you can come up or you can slash across, you know, really get into your enemy with it. But really cool little piece. Next we've got a couple Kershaws here. I'm not going to take them out just because they're knives that are pretty common. But on the right here we have a G10 Speed Bump. Got this off of Amazon.com for under $40. They have a really nice deal on this knife. Don't think they're in stock right now though. And this one is a S30V Blur. You know, these are not really hard to find knives. Those two are pretty common. Then we've got a nice little Spyderco FRN Dragonfly 2. I love this little guy. This is just a really cool little folder. Really nice size. That choil makes it feel great in the hand. A lot bigger than it actually is. I actually like the wire clips. Some people don't like them. I'm a fan of them. Then we have my... I'll skip these other couple for last. My other high-end knives. We've got a Spyderco Paramilitary 2. I've done a review on this before. You guys have probably all seen that knife as well. Then we have a Spyderco T-Mag here. This is a really interesting knife. You saw this also in my last video, my unboxing video. And it's just a really, really nice knife as far as ergonomics and feel and, you know, blade shape. If this was a liner lock, I would love this knife. I did upgrade the magnets in it. I don't know if you saw me mention that in the last video, but you can see there's 2 in there now instead of just the one larger magnet. And this actually helps. It's a noticeable improvement, but I mean, it's still magnets holding the knife open, so I wouldn't use it for anything hard, but it's a nice, you know, light duty carry knife or, you know, dress knife. Then we've got my Balisong over here, my Benchmade Model 51. Really, really awesome flipping Balisong. You've also seen this knife before. Just a really cool, nice knife. Cut myself with this plenty of times, so it's officially mine. I guess, you know, when you cut yourself, a knife becomes yours. But really, really smooth flipping knife. If you're gonna buy this though, make sure you pick up a bottle of blue Loctite with it, because you're gonna have to Loctite the pivot screws here. I also keep a bottle of that in my case under here. You can't really see it, with some Tough Glide and Daisy gun oil, which actually works really well as a knife lubricant. Next, my two of my 3 favorite folders, and I say 2 of 3 because I got a third one this past weekend that you guys haven't seen or heard about yet, and if you've been watching the video up until this point, you'll get to see it. If not, I guess everyone else has to wait till I do the review. But anyway, here's a couple you've seen before. My Strider SNG. This is an awesome knife. I mean, some people don't like Strider. They complain about it. They don't say it's good. Whatever. I love this knife. Then we have the Kershaw Tilt.